and then discovered these dagger brushes. They kind of really are a bit scary to me. Initially, they were a bit scary, and then I saw how freeing it could be. So I want to share some work with you guys, and maybe we take it from there. Is that okay? Can I
Yeah,
do that?
let me remove the spotlights and then you can share.
Okay. Screen, start broadcast.
Such a pretty picture of you with your hair down. I never see you with your hair down.
Oh, me? Yeah, hang on. All right, there we go. Yeah. And
there's mine. I bought this one from Hema.
yeah,
that was our first interaction. Was that I reached out to you on Instagram and I said, "Are you selling these? Can I buy it?"
So that's how it started, guys. It was so sweet. She just reached out, and it was the beginning of the pandemic, and I was invited to draw with a friend of mine when they were having a model session, online model session. I'm like, what is that? Because I'd never drawn online from somebody, being like in a pose. I've done that in studios, outdoors, plein air, etc. But I didn't know what it was going to be like, and it was so fun. This wonderful model was wearing I think like a swimsuit like thing with a kimono. She kept changing. I used some handmade paper for this particular painting, and I can share some links if people are interested after class, and you can explore some of these materials. This paper is called Shizen, Shizen. They make wonderful handmade paper. I think they source some of it actually from my home country, India. They use pure paper pulp to create this lovely cotton. They use cotton paper pulp to make a lovely absorbency. I think I used some brown ink in this one to draw the outline of the body before I painted it. So anyways, I did this, I posted it, and then I get this Instagram comment from Anne saying, are these for sale? Are you? And I'm like, sure, thank you. That's so lovely. It was quite, I was quite flattered that somebody would want to buy this.
Your answer, do you remember your answer to me?
Wait, what did I say, Anne?
I think you were like, yeah, I think maybe I was been thinking about selling them. Like, it's so funny. Let me think about it or something.
Yeah, because I was so surprised that somebody would, I don't know what I was thinking, but I'm so glad she asked, because it pushed me to recognize that I like drawing figures, and people, may have an interest in them. So anyways, this was one of the pieces. And since then, I was doing a lot of this kind of work, which is observation and drawing. This is just some lambs here I was growing in the front yard, and I created this series of paintings. If somebody gave me a plant, I would paint the plant they gave me, and I would give them a painting. So that was my deal with my neighbors. I'd be like, you are supporting me, and I'm gonna give something back. So that was the lamb's ears. This was a chrysanthemum, but it wasn't that somebody gave me a chrysanthemum. They gave me some other plant, but I wanted to paint one. This is not the finished piece, but I wanted to show you this to say that the positive and negative spaces here was what I was playing with. And it's so fun to work in, I think what it's called, the tondo, the round, is that what it's called, Anne? I think it's called tondo.
Yeah, I think so. I'm curious how much of that painting you did with like a brush, like a dagger or a Chinese brush, and how much of that with pen and ink?
Oh, that's a good question. So I just want to point out that at that stage, I was still using the Chinese brushes. So the Chinese brushes were already a little scary, but because, they hold a lot more color and water. So you kind of have to manage them slightly differently than the regular brushes. I think some people also use mop brushes with a fine point and are able to produce, delicate lines, as well as put down big washes. So I just wanted to point out some of these images, which was before the dagger brush. But fun nevertheless, where I had started to free up my lines, free up the movement, sort of go really fast. I would work literally like I'd be at the beach and I'd be like, okay, wash, okay. I want to point, okay, take some water, take a point, draw a couple lines, okay, literally just loosen up. And it forced me to look at people and bring information into my painting really fast. So I thought I would just share a couple of these images.
Yeah, you could really see that, you know, I mean, you're forced to when you're painting people because they're moving, you know, they're not sitting still for you on the beach. So you're forced to capture information quickly, and you know, you have to either capture a gesture or the motion or the color, or like just something that's speaking to you about. You do such a good job with that, just capturing that so quickly, and but it's very personal, I think.
Thanks, Anne. Yeah, it took me a while to understand that I can't control all the parts. So for example, this one was just pine needles that, you know, I got from my walk. And I just did a simple observation, sort of, you know, just watching it. But because I had forced myself to go away from my traditional brushes and I used bigger brushes, I had to lay down these huge washes. So when I lay down these bigger washes, controlling it is a different ball game. It's like you have to all of a sudden think, all right, I've laid down this big wash and now I'm going to draw out some of it. And you also become a bit more confident in laying down strong color. So for example, in this one, I started laying down that entire blue patch in the background of the sunflower is one wash, like did not touch it again.
And that was
Before
on
I
dry
would,
paper, right?
sorry?
You didn't do that on wet paper. That paper was dry.
That's right. This was dry paper. Yep. And but it's like, you know, choosing a really strong color and just putting it down without touching it again was new for me. Let me show you this one. This one has a bit of a mixed media. If you notice, there's a little bit of a charcoal or pastel thrown in for some definition. So it's a bit of mixed media.
Oh, sorry. I love that. It's gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
you know,
that's all dagger. That looks like a dagger brush to me.
Yes. So this one did have a dagger brush in, but I personally did not think I was as confident with it. I kept going back to my, you know, to like my trusted implements. You know, I'm also very hesitant to use too many brushes when I'm outdoors. I tend to carry just two, because invariably, even though I carry all my brushes, I will just rely on two because it's, you know, you're holding paper, you're trying to manage water, you're trying to, you know, manage different implements. So these were painted plein air, like outside at a local reservation. This one was just fall colored reflections. I wanted to go back in, but some of these studies, I leave them on purpose like this. So for example, if you notice that lovely spindly tree at the top, that's in gray, it was like a tree in the background that I wanted the other colors to come in the front. Now I wasn't successful, but I was happy to have this sort of abstract shape turn up to remind me the next time I do it, you know, to bring some more of the colors forward. This one felt a little more successful, like the pine needles on the right were slightly shaped with a dry brush technique. And, you know, I had the nice blurriness in the water, but the water doesn't look like water to me. It looks like sky. It should actually look like some amount of water, but it doesn't. Yeah, I got better with water recently. Like this one was just a very quick rendition of somebody's picture of a few turtles on a log.
Cute. I love them.
Yeah, I love these. And I liked that I was able to, I felt a little more confidence. It's a really fast, tiny sketch, like about, I don't know, 4 inches by 4 inches. Let's see. Oh, and I wanted to show you this. This is just a pile of compost, like it's just a picture of some composting flour and dry leaves and such. And I liked a particular shape that I want to point out that I was smart enough or aware enough to leave. The top right quadrant, you notice this beautiful shape, almost like a teardrop that's up. Like, do you see that shape by any chance? And does that point like stand out for you?
Yeah, it's kind of gray and it kind of goes into black at the end.
Yes, yes,
yeah.
At the end.
I love that.
Yeah.
My eye goes straight to that.
Right. And so I have been teaching myself to leave certain shapes. The moment it makes an interesting mark or an interesting shape, learn to leave it. Bottom left quadrant, the green leaf just came out perfect to me. And I feel like, oh yeah, that's it. That's a leaf. Sometimes when you use big brushes or these kinds of dagger brushes, it's so easy to overwork something. So because we're used to control. And so it's been a fun ride figuring out how to leave something. Sorry, was somebody asking something?
Questions are okay.
Oh yeah, please, yes. I don't know if I can everybody.
We're going to do a painting demonstration soon, but Hema wanted to show you some of her, I guess, her story, her journey with the different brushes and loosening up. So
Yeah.
Well, how long have you been painting?
So I would say that I've always painted, like, I don't know, since I was, 17, 16, something like that. So it's been years. But I was in the graphic design field and not as much a fine artist. And then I think about, I want to say 5 years ago, I just got back into it in a big way. Decided to really, start building a portfolio again, go to the galleries and whatnot. Yeah. I took a long break. I was homeschooling my kids, and so I made art, but just not, it was not out in the world of fine art.
Yeah.
It was just all home based, and I was teaching and doing things like that. Yeah. So
Well,
these
they're all
watercolors. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I just said they're all beautiful. I love each one.
Oh,
They're
thank you. Thank you.
I love seeing your progression, because I've been watching it too on Instagram, and I really love seeing it. Really how loose you've gotten and how much bolder you've gotten with the techniques.
Yeah, thanks, Ed. Yeah, I'm glad you're saying that, because I too feel that. I feel like, okay, I'm getting somewhere. So I want to show you some of my, I don't know, let me see. Today we're going to do something along the lines of the ones at the bottom. I'll show you that later. But I recently started like playing around with memory and just painting from feelings and memories. And so this was this strange landscape that happened one evening.
I haven't seen that one. That's amazing.
Sorry, say that again.
It's amazing. There's so much to look at. It's really interesting.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, so a lot of my oil paintings too have this language where I have multiple things to say in one image, and bringing it all together, making it interesting, and at the same time figuring out whether I should leave something blank, whether there should be, like a 1/3, 2/3 thing going on, or I don't know.
Or less. It's a hard choice sometimes.
Yes. So yeah, I was excited with this one. This one was interesting. I'm not sure. This one is unfinished. And I think I took the photo when everything was really wet. But I enjoyed it. It was, again, I sometimes just play with my brushes for the fun of it. So this could end up becoming a small postcard. It doesn't matter. It becomes something.
But it's meditation for you, isn't it, when you're doing these?
Yes. It really is. It's like, de-stressing. It's meditative. It's, I don't know what to paint right now, but I know I need to move my hand and learn more about color. And so I'm always learning about color, because it's, so I'll show you my crazy palette for a second. Yeah. That's, is it visible? Yeah.
No, I think you have to do stop share.
Oh, I gotta do stop share. Okay, I'll show it to you in a minute when we go back to our, so here, and then I want to show you this one, which is really tight work. It's with a fine brush, but
tight for you. Tight for you.
Yeah, a bit tight. So I use this particular dagger brush, which is and why would I use this? Because it's amazing when you use a dagger brush.
We can't see it really, so.
Oh, right. How do I keep both screens?
You can't, not when you're doing share screen.
Okay, but that's okay, right? It's okay. Like, I can just talk about this and then
you could show us after.
Yeah. So there are really tight strokes in this one, and at the same time a looseness. So I felt pretty good about this. It felt like a fun exploration of the delicacy of the shells, of the eggshells, and then all these little tendrils from, I don't know, like dried onion bits and whatnot. And I loved it. I sometimes like subject matter that does not have to look like something specific, because then you have the option to paint abstract. It's okay. Nobody knows what it is. It's okay. You know, you just
I
paint it.
also like that you do, like you have an affinity like I do for the ugly beautiful, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Ugly beautiful is definitely a thing for me.
Wow.
Yeah, and this wasn't, I think, was just because I missed the beach so much, and it was New Jersey just did not want to warm up enough.
Was this from a photo reference or a plein air, or was it imaginative?
No, this is all imaginative. So this is one of those moments where I think this was in the last maybe month that I've started to do a lot more watercolors, forcing myself to kind of dig into my subconscious. I think we've taken so much imagery already that if we actually tried, we have a lot of stuff in our subconscious. And as long as I'm willing to allow the image to, you know, slightly change. Like, so for example, in this one, the L shape became a bit too strong. As you can see, the rocks, it's a bit stronger than I wanted. I wanted it to be a little less of an L shape, but it became that. It's okay. I played with it. I allowed it. And I kind of added that. Does everybody see that weird sea anemone that happened?
Yeah, that's the best.
Yeah.
I love him. And he came about because I was trying to take away some of the paint from the paper because the rocks had gotten too strong. And yeah, and that's another tip. I love painting rocks. I find rocks are so good for anybody who wants to learn watercolor. So I'm going to show you my rocks.
We have a lot of people in this group that
Oh.
like to paint rocks.
Wow.
You're preaching to the choir here.
Awesome. Well, I'm so happy to know that you guys know that, because you know, I never thought about it as much until I was teaching some watercolor to a student, and I was like, rocks are, you know, they rock. It's like, this is just lava rocks from the student's photograph when she was at Hawaii. And you see
Great.
these,
Crashing surf.
sorry, Susan, I didn't
I'm sorry.
hear you.
I love it with the rocks are so loose and the wild crashing surf, and then you've got a tight little landscape there in the corner. It's adorable.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I love the energy that came about in this one. I also use this pen that I'm going to show you soon. It's called a Feud ink pen. F-U-D.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, you guys all know this? All right.
No, I don't know if everyone knows it, but it seems to be like definitely the pen of choice these days.
Oh yeah, it is awesome. It's not expensive. I mean, I'm just saying it's not expensive because it matters to me. I often find that expensive materials make me, I don't know, tight. I get like, oh my God, you know, I'm going to get stingy now. You know, I don't want to use this too much. And so I like my materials to not be too expensive. And the Feud pen has gone above and beyond everything. Like, I have used it out in the rain. I've used it, you know, and it's got this lovely nib. So do you notice the thick and thin lines that have happened over the rocks?
Yes.
Yes. And when you put water down, you allow it to spread, then you put a few splotches. Next thing you know is you've got rock shapes, but now you need the fine definition. You could do it with a brush, or you could do it with an ink pen, you know, nobody's to know. And it's fun. Let's see. I also wanted to show you guys this cherry blossom tree that was completely with the dagger brush.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, my cherry blossom tree, every season is just, she looks like this royal tree, like really royal. Like, she stands out. All the other trees just look like these green things, and she is this wild, you know, royal being. And we haven't shaped her much, so it's not like she's been pruned much, you know, so she's pretty wild. The reason this particular painting for me was kind of a breakthrough was I used my thick, what is this? This is, I think, a 2-inch or 3/4 inch dagger brush, but it's pretty big. And I did this on a 6 inches by 5 inches postcard, something like that. It was really not that big.
Wow.
But by keeping the postcard or the paper size small, I was able to get movement all over much quicker. while sitting at a table outside and watching and observing the tree. I want to try and achieve this on a larger scale. Like I really want to be able to work with large size brushes and watercolor. So that's the, hope.
That's so
Um,
scary, but I agree. Like I would really like to be able to get bigger, but I've just been going smaller lately.
yeah. And it's I think like small is fun too, so I can quickly experiment and learn something.
Mhm.
But the big sized ones, like I can't wait to try some on like some large arches paper or something. I also want to share that this is not a finished watercolor, but some of my watercolors start like this. They're just this wet soaking paper. I laid out a few patches. I generally put some color down. I always remember to leave some white spaces, and then I finish it later. Like I'll add a few more defined areas. But I thought I would just leave this in there for you to see that um, it's just so fun to allow the colors to be playing with each other, and it's okay. Like there's no, as you can see, there's very little control in this. I've kind of smudged things, put things together. The two shopkeepers look like, I don't know, blobs right now. So
So was this wet on wet, pretty much?
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
yes.
That's
Most
beautiful.
of oh, thanks. Yeah, most of it was wet on wet. All right, now I want to show you. Let's see. Oh yeah, this was, I think, when I first got my dagger brushes. Still a little tight, but I like the fact that I don't know if you can see, and I want to see if I can zoom in. Is a zoom in possible? Yes.
Yeah, there
yes.
you go.
I wanted to use all the colors because it was weird. This plant was reflecting. I forget the name. I have to remember the name. I'll have to go and look at it. If somebody recognizes the plant, I don't know. I will tell you the name, but it's this weird plant that had colors that were looking different because of the way the light was hitting it. So I just, I played with it, and then I went even crazier. I put colors that I'd never seen in the plant before, that were not like you couldn't have observed these colors, but it was just so fun to play with the shapes. And then I had these dry brush strokes and wet ones, and some of them just got mixed up. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. And as you can see, I put some dry strokes on top afterwards to add some definition.
They're fantastic. They're such a nice contrast. And
Yeah.
I like the imaginary colors because I feel like sometimes your eye needs a break.
Yes.
And they provide that. And who cares if they're not really there? We've done mushrooms in the class that we put blue and green and
Right.
I mean, who cares?
Right.
That's
No, exactly.
the artist's interpretation. We're allowed to do that.
Exactly. And I really enjoy that. I think that's the other thing. Like, so, like to me, the sunflower was a very tight painting, but at the time it was loose for me because I was still coming from a space of like, very precise strokes, etc. But here, to allow that yellow to sort of just glow and then just add a few. So you can see here, some of the strokes are just like blobs. They're not actually defining a shape, but overall it looks like a sunflower,
Yeah.
Yes. And what do I want to show you guys? I want to show you something else here. Let's see. Oh, yes. So this was a lot of wet on wet fun on this lovely paper that I think it's because of the paper that the painting gets better. It's called Saunders paper, and it's just delightful to work with. This is the same paper again, and oops, sorry. Yeah. You see these beautiful blurs. So when I'm painting, I try to keep two visions alive in me. One is that of letting go and just seeing what happens and sort of playing with it. But the other vision is one of, is this reading as something? So for example, when I was first painting this bottom section with the red, I had a vision of creating a reflection in it, but it didn't work out. Something came into it and blurred it. So I went back in and I said, okay, I'm going to put some thick watercolor, or like the impasto technique almost, just right on top. And it seemed to work. So then I was like, okay, so I guess this is getting marshier than I wanted it to be. So I kept adding details. And that's that other part of the brain that's saying, I can add definition and make something out of it, even if it's not looking like what I originally wanted it to be, you know? So I like doing that a lot, actually. So sometimes I start out a painting and, you know, I start with a coconut tree, it might become something completely different.
And that's
So-
okay. Yeah.
How do
Yeah.
you pick your colors? Do you just pick them just looking at it, or is it more from knowing what colors will look good together?
Okay, so that's a great question because and when I switch back to the camera, you'll see my palette, and you probably are all going to get really scared that, you know, this is crazy land.
Is now a good time to do that? Can we do that now?
Yes, sorry, can we switch? Shall we?
Oh, yeah,
go
yeah.
to-
So go ahead and hit end. There you go.
Okay, I'm back.
And then
All right.
I'll go ahead and if you want to highlight your palette, then side by side, I'll do that.
Okay. Is that good? Can everybody see?
you
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And I can show you my crazy palette. So this is my crazy palette. It's insane. But I have another palette that
You
I
have
want to
30 colors or more than 30 colors?
Oh, let's see.
33 colors, something like that. That's a lot.
Yeah, 33. That's right. But I do tend to do weird things. So like people often say that you shouldn't need this, like you can just make this purple another way. But I find some colors I just cannot create. So for example, this is and I'm going to say this horribly, quinacridone,
Quinacridone, I think. We all have trouble
yeah.
saying that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Q ones, the Q paints, you know, I love these paints. I discovered this recently and I have fallen in love with them. Their nickel azo yellow is so different from my usual yellow. It has a glow-like effect to it. And for who, I think it was Dolores maybe who asked me about the palette.
Mhm.
Yes.
I recently painted on this, and this is how insane my palette can look sometimes. When I'm in a rush to put down color, like nobody can get in my way. We just like, whatever, I don't care. I'm just gonna put the blue here because and I think I've trained myself over years and years of working in very tiny palettes outdoors, or that I grab shades. I don't grab paint, I'm actually grabbing shades. So for example, just to give you a sense, right now, if I was to like, you know, I wanted to create something red, I go in there, I know what this is becoming, even just by looking at it. I just know. And I know that if I mix this blue in, I know, you know, I'm going to get some kind of a violet shade. And oh, you know what? If I put that violet shade down and then I just want this, oh no, this is too yellow. Okay, I just wash my brush out. You know, I'm like literally working like this. Like I work super fast. And
You mix a lot of paint on the palette. I mean, on
Yeah.
the paper, on the paper.
On the paper. So you see, like this to me is like starting to look like a flower I have in my brain. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna add some pink to
Is
that.
that big enough for everyone to see? Can you guys all see that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, where did you find that palette with all the little scoops?
Oh,
out?
let me tell you about that.
That one right there.
I'm gonna have to.
The one you're
damp-
holding.
Yeah.
Yep.
Otherwise it'll run on you.
Yep. Just gonna damp it out, but I'm gonna show it to you. This
Oh,
is the
that's your
box that the
pour.
paint's in.
Oh,
QOR.
Yeah, QOR. I found it because of this artist who actually, she does these exquisite miniature watercolors of New York City. And I noticed that she had this brilliant orange pink that she used for neon lettering, you know, on signage at Times Square. And I saw the painting and I'm like, oh my God, how did you know, because that's an awkward color to, you know, do with a regular red, blue, and yellow palette. I'm like, how do you get that? And she said the square color changed her life because this whole family of colors, the Q family of colors, are kind of incredible. They have a very strong separation that happens even. So if you use these paints, you might even find your colors splitting in a way that is unexpected. So it can be a little starting. Getting used to it can take a little time. How are we for time, by the way? I'm sorry. Okay. Because I should do.
no, that's good. So I was actually going to say we're about half an hour into our hour. So we could probably do materials all day, but maybe we could have you come back and do something with those core, because I think we would love to see a demo on those. But do you
Sure.
wanna, maybe should we switch and maybe do a demonstration with the dagger?
Yeah, is that okay, guys?
And then you
that'd
can
be
have
great.
some time for a paint along. So I'll be your timekeeper. because-
Thank you. I know. I
Yeah,
don't wanna-
sure. No, you're doing great. But I'm thinking if we did like a half an hour, we have about a half an hour left. I don't mind if we run over. I just don't know what you guys are doing. But if we did like maybe half of that time doing a demo and showing us how you achieve your marks with the dagger, and then we could do one together and take about 15 or plus minutes on that. Does that
So,
sound good?
oh, yes, sorry, ask, I'm okay. Just wondering if everybody else is okay with that?
Yeah,
And you guys can feel free to paint
yeah,
now.
great.
If you want to paint as well.
Oh, yes, yes.
I might.
Please,
Yeah.
please do. Yes, feel free. I'm painting a coconut tree. Oh, right. How do I share the image? Oops.
Oh,
You can screen share.
Because if I screen share, they won't be able to see my,
You'll have to share it first. So go ahead and screen share
okay.
and they can see your image.
Okay.
I'm going to use my long 3/8 inch rosemary with the long
Ooh, beautiful.
green.
All right. So that's the image I'm going to be painting.
Ooh, fun.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And I'm gonna, is that okay to stop
Do you
sharing or
want me
should I
to
just?
share that in the chat for everyone? Because I have that image. I can put it in the chat and then everyone can grab it. So you don't have to keep sharing it. I'll just.
Oh, thank you.
everybody.
Yeah, is that okay? So I'm
Yeah.
gonna, yeah, okay. I'm gonna stop share. Sorry, I'm a little, yeah. I'm getting better at this.
We're patient. That's okay. I have to just grab, while you talk, I'll grab it and then I'll
Okay.
share it with everybody in a moment.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna start. I might be silent for a few minutes, but I'm just getting the pieces together for myself. All right. And if people have questions, I could answer questions. I just won't be able to talk about my own painting as I draw it right now, because I still want to get some of the forms down, but I could talk about other stuff, about painting in general. Or, yeah.
I just looked up the core QOR watercolors, and they're all over the place. Dick Blick's, Artorama,
Awesome.
Thanks,
and
Yasmin.
Amazon, and they're all the same price. You can get a set of 24 for $77. Sounds like a deal.
Whoa, perfect.
Is it possible to see a large share of what you're painting? 'Cause right now we're seeing you.
Yeah, I can do that.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Just a sec. Sorry, give me a sec. Because I wanted to share the coconut palm with everybody in the chat. And I have way too many screens open. Okay, here we go.
Right now I'm letting some paint go crazy with my.
There we go. Sorry about that, guys.
There you go. Thank
There you go. Okay, so I just shared that picture in the chat. So
Mhm.
you don't start with the background all the time. Can I ask some questions that are in my
Yeah,
mind?
please.
Too? So you don't
Please.
start with the
Yes.
background. Sometimes you start with some key lines.
Yes. So when I'm in a rush like this, because now I'm feeling a little rushed because I've taken up quite a lot of time. I want to make sure.
No, don't rush. Yeah.
I don't want to delay anybody.
Don't rush.
But I feel like I can go either way. But usually I would plan this painting out, differently. I would probably have started with a bit more of a background wash. I would put some washes, put some greens in. But I'm trying to be, I'm just trying to get more info for you guys in a shorter time.
Well, sometimes we don't have time, right? Like you're out and it's quick. You have an hour to paint outside and you have 10 things you want to capture.
Yep.
Right.
Yep,
So you can't always lay down a background wash.
That's it. That's exactly it. It can get very tricky very fast. The weather can change. And I like to get, I mean, I could always take a reference like I'm doing right now and paint it, but it's so fun to be able to, add details when you're outside and get that intimacy with the subject matter, and kind of see where it's going live with the wind, and yeah.
We have a lot of plein air painters, people who like to paint outside. And Alex is here with us today. She does a lot of that. And so, yeah, we know, I think we're familiar with that. There's a difference between painting from a photo reference and painting. It's like painting a live person in a live draw versus painting a photo of that person. There's just this connection and that you get with the scenery, with your subjects, the weather, just the vibe of the place, things like that.
Yep, exactly. I also, if you notice the way I hold the brush, I will sometimes hold it all the way even up here, like all the way on the top, because I find that because I'm so interested in getting a loose line, I challenge myself literally sometimes. I know it's not the best. Like, see what happened just now? I got too thick a line, so I may just blur that out a bit, take that off a bit.
Your hand a little bit when you're doing those scratchy ones, even when you're holding it up close. Do you kind of like, purposely jiggle your hand to get more random strokes?
Absolutely. And of course, it gets easier because of the dagger brush itself, which does not want to do anything you want it to do. It's like, nope, not gonna do that.
It's amazing you can make circles with it at all, because I cannot. I don't know how you do that.
I hear you, Anne, because that was you, right, Anne? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I can't see you speaking. Yeah. I hear you on that, and I'm telling you that the only reason I was able to enjoy this and not give up on this brush was because of the abstract images that I did. So what I ended up doing was I played with abstract imagery so much that I was only focused on the way to use the brush. And by the way, I've been told I speak really fast. So if I am, please tell me to slow down.
I've gotten everybody well used to that. So
yeah, it's tricky sometimes for me to.
That's good. We're following. You're getting it all in.
Thank you.
It's must be because you live in New York. People talk faster when they live there.
Yes, that, and the fact that I think I've been told that apparently Indians tend to speak really fast. It's just the way. It's like, have you heard? Like, I've heard that when I hear my Spanish, friends who speak Spanish, it's super fast. It's rapid fire, and I'm used to that. Like, even the language I speak, Kannada, we tend to speak so fast, and I don't know. It's something about the way it flows. It just flows that way. I don't know what it is. We probably could slow down. All right. I'm now happy with a few of these shapes, but I want some big shapes. So I'm gonna.
So you're gonna use a different part of your brush now? Oh, you're wetting the paper now.
Yes, and I'm using the exactly like you said. I'm using this edge. Okay, so let me see.
Because I noticed you were using different sections of the pointy part before to get more of those
yes,
fine but looser squiggles, I guess.
Yep, you are noticing all the best stuff. I'm so glad you're here with me, because I think if I was doing this on my own, I'd be like, and notice, and then forget about what I was saying, because I'm glad you're noticing it, because this is exactly
hard to paint and draw and talk at the same time.
Yeah, that too. Like, I'm noticing this dead branch here that I really want to get in. I love dead branches, and I think, like you said, I think you were saying, ugly beauty, right? We just love that. So I want to get some of this lovely dry. By the way, does everybody know about Payne's Gray? And does everybody love Payne's Gray? I hope.
Payne's Gray, yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite go-tos. I very rarely use black. I'm not against using black. I just love Payne's Gray. I love the richness that it provides me when I want to create a dense shadow really fast. So right here, I would like to add some really
scratchy kind of marks and dark ones, right?
Exactly. And so,
Yeah.
so right here, right in the midst of all these lovely coconuts is this beautiful dark shape. And then there's this other dark shape. And now I use the edges. You see that? And I love how that allows me to create this. Yeah, and I also use the split. I don't know if anybody saw that, but the split that happens sometimes is wonderful.
Can you tell us what you mean by that?
Oh, sorry. So the split. Do you see the brush splitting right there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a fan of split brushes. I even keep a whole host of dried up brushes. I love the accidental marks that you get with that. They are a bit harder to control. So if you are trying to do a realistic drawing, I would not recommend them. But if you're trying to do something where you're happy with the accidents, you're happy with you know, the kind of marks that create abstract expression, then it's a great one to have. I sometimes will keep a dry brush, like right now this brush is very dry, and let's see, what can I draw that's really dry? Okay, let's get some. So I dry off my brush and I get this beautiful
I love using dried out brushes too. I think especially for the dry brush technique, I just find
yeah
they're
yeah
crunchier and they're more
Mhm.
broken in.
Yes, and I would like some of my green here. Okay, good. Nice, strong.
Oh, that's a pretty green.
Yeah, it's I think it's a mix of two right now, but it's got some impact, which I like. One also because I'm trying to work super focused but fast while I'm talking. I'm taking punchier colors. I might have done this slightly less punchy, but I'm you know, happy to always experiment and see what happens. And I try to add really fine, delicate lines, as you can see, which is beautiful with this brush, because the point is so pretty.
Now, which one is
And
that you're using? Did you say, and I missed it? I'm sorry.
please ask me again. What did you just say?
Which brush is that?
Oh, this is the 3/4 Black Knight sword liner. I mean, it's basically a dagger brush, but it's called a sword liner. I don't know why. But I learned that that's what some stores know it as. So when I asked for a dagger brush, you know, they guessed at what I wanted. They didn't realize, I mean, they didn't know that could have been the word for it. So yeah.
So dagger and sword are this one and the same. I always thought sword was more of how do I explain this? Not as pointy at the end.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. But look how it is. It's you know,
Yeah.
isn't that weird? So
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be a manufacturer thing, like, you know, somebody calls it one thing, and I'm not sure. Okay. I'm gonna get some of that.
So a lot of this is intuitive for you, right? Like you're deciding when the brush should be wet, when the paper should be wet, when the paper should be dry. Like a lot
Yes,
of it's just making you're making decisions that are very intuitive as you go.
yes, you're absolutely right. And the only reason I can attempt something like this today is because of all the abstracts. I can't overemphasize that enough. It's the abstracts that allowed me to gain my confidence. Like, oh yeah, you know, I can do that. Oh, I can, because then your language, oh, guys, this is that lovely quinadrazone orange that I want to show you. I'm adding it in as part of the mud that's in between the grass. It splits the color. Do you see it splitting?
Yeah.
I'm going to hold it up even closer.
It pushes some of it out of the way.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it creates this weird, you know, so anyways, I'm having fun with it right now, so it's probably not going to look the best, but we'll see. Okay, so now I want to create just a little bit of drama with the with some dark lines. So let's see. And I'm also trying to create some different greens here because this palm looks like it's got another green.
It's so pretty.
Yeah.
I like that you use this tiny bit of like a purpley maroon in the base of the tree too that I don't see there.
Yeah. So that's, yeah, thank you for, who is that? Is that Anne?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you noticed that, Anne, because
I'm like a stalker. I'm a Hema stalker. I stalk her paintings.
well, you know how much I love your work. So I don't know if you guys have all seen her show already, or you're maybe close by.
Oh, I don't need a plug. I plug it all the time with this.
No, because I love it. I can't tell you enough good things. I even told another artist about your work because of your use of Viviva. How do you say that? Yeah, because she was like, "Oh my God, this is really hard," and I'm like, you should go and see her work because she actually uses it effectively. And I think it takes a lot of control in that, because to know how much of the color you need from the paper, that's an interesting. Yeah, that's quite a skill. You have to really figure that out. Okay.
But they're pretty fantastic to work with, and they're not expensive to try.
Right? Yeah, I'm going to be getting some actually very soon, so I'm excited. I'm going to add a little bit of like mud in this, so I'm going to add a little bit of. And to the lady, I think maybe it was again Dolores who asked me about the colors and how do I choose them. Yeah, I literally have played so much with my colors that I, exactly like Anne was saying, I kind of intuitively grab the shades I need. So if I know that I'm getting too bright with something and I need to dull it down, I know that a purple. So right now I'm mixing, can you see the purple here? I'm actually mixing purple into the brown because I know that I need a bit of a dulling down of this color. And now that this part is dry, I'm going to add another little thing here because I love that.
It's so great to watch you do it. I've watched you paint, I think maybe once when we did a paint day together, a virtual paint day, and
that was
some of my abstracts, and you were doing, I forget what you were doing. You were doing monotype.
Right, I remember that.
And I've never watched you paint with the dagger.
So now to get a bit of depth going, which I'm not seeing right now in my work, I'm gonna take out, just gonna see, maybe that's a bit too bright.
You're gonna pop some colors in there, huh?
I was actually thinking like, I'm not so sure about this, but I'm gonna try this. I need some really watery sky popping through every here and there, sort of, that's the hint.
So you don't have to do the background first. You can add it in a very watery mix, and just don't disturb what's underneath it, right?
Exactly. And
dance it over kind of. And
right. And it doesn't, yes, there are rules to watercolor, and yes, it would be nice if we, wanted a specific outcome. But one of my goals has been to not have a specific outcome, because for too long I was in the realm of creating very specific effects. And I've been having so much fun with this that to me, this is making me stretch my understanding of how to use watercolor in a way that I didn't before. So definitely helps. I also want to add some.
And you don't stress if it doesn't come out perfect, or if, like, what I love about the woman in the kimono is that the ink has bled into her legs.
Yes.
And it's like, it doesn't stress anything, it's just whatever. That's just was part of the process. You can see the artist at work in it, and it's not, like you didn't try to correct it or anything. You just left it.
Yeah, thank you. And becoming okay with that was exactly like this whole journey of trying to become okay with how it flows. And then like you were saying before, it really takes a lot of painting to get to the point where you can effectively draw something, make it look like something. Like, so for example, right now I'm kind of bummed that I didn't put in enough orange right here, so I'm gonna try and bring that back in.
I was actually just going to ask you if you were going to do those beautiful berries, because they're so pretty.
Yeah, I have to get more of that in.
My
I
paintings,
also,
I actually did them first because it was like the first thing that spoke to me.
right. And I probably should have.
Well,
know
but
the
there's
time.
no one right way to do anything, especially in a painting like this. You can approach it any way you want to.
You're very right. And I think that's the thing. If we give ourselves the freedom to, sort of see what happens, we end up surprising ourselves. Like there's always a surprise in each painting for me, because I'm like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. And then your hand, it becomes like muscle memory. It's like you just know what to do, it becomes quicker, faster. It starts to come to you more easily. So I always feel like if you're working on one subject matter for too long, just switch it, do something completely different for a little while, and you'll be surprised. You'll be like, wow, how did I know how to paint that? It's because something else from another painting triggered that knowledge and you just knew what to do. So yeah, I find myself.
Wise words.
Sorry, say that again.
That's wise words. We get philosophy and art together. It's true, though. It's a lot of it is about muscle memory and confidence building. And
Yes, absolutely.
so it's 7 minutes too. We usually leave a little bit of time for questions and sharing. And
yeah. So please go ahead. I'm just painting, and I'm just going to keep trying to finish this up a little bit. But please ask questions or
and
share
raise
your
your hand if you want to share, if you'd like to share. I know everybody is interested in watching, and again, I don't mind if we go over. Do you have somewhere to be right after this, Hema?
Oh no, I'm good. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, cool. It's so pretty. Those little fine lines are so pretty. You're still using the same brush, right?
Yeah, I just realized because I was in such a rush today because I thought I was really going over time. So I stuck with my one brush, but you know what? It's a good time. And thank you for reminding me.
I was just wondering.
Yeah, no, but I actually kind of forgot about, I wanted to show you the other brush, which is right here. It's just got a slightly different shape, if people can see that. It's a little more tight, but it's fun. Yeah.
Hema, I'm going to ask you a question that some people might ask. Okay.
Sure.
So can you see me in the window, the small window?
Yep. Hi.
Okay. I have this, and I think Ginny has this too, 1/2-inch rosemary pure squirrel. It is super wiggly. You have something like this?
Yes, this is super wiggly. So let me, here, I'll show you.
You can't tell when it's wet, but this is mine wet, but it's so hard to use because it's so wiggly. But when you did like those the pine tree branch that you found, did you use a super wiggly one like this?
Yeah, because it's like this. So if you hold it up high, I find, and if you rest this part down, you get these beautiful, these shapes.
Okay, I'm gonna try it right now.
Yeah. And I also sometimes will just rest my elbow, and my elbow is enough to give me that. So yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a great tip, to use your elbow, because it steadies it a bit, and you can get nice shapes, nice dry brush as my paint runs out. Like I didn't really necessarily start with the dry brush, but as the paint runs out.
Right.
Yeah, it's getting, but you can't use this brush for a whole painting. It's impossible.
It's hard. Yeah, it's definitely hard. I do find myself, I mean, I used to really struggle with this. I think I've done so many now with this that it's just become, I don't know, some kind of second nature thing. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to use it at the top and make some of those swinging marks. I know they won't come out as good as yours, but I'm gonna try.
No, please do try and show me.
Well, I like that you don't have any problem going bold, because I think sometimes I fear going bold at the end and messing up what I've already done.
Well, you never know. Like, I'm not totally kicked about this painting, but it's okay. It's, so you gotta keep, the faith.
Who would agree with me this is a gorgeous painting now? Can everyone agree?
It's beautiful.
Yes, it's great.
Oh, God.
Thank you.
Does
Yeah.
anybody have any questions?
Yes, please. Yes, anything.
I just have a comment. I have a 3/8 inch rosemary sable brush that's a dagger, and I was really afraid of it. And now you've really made me want to experiment a whole lot more. I've just been doodling with it, but it's really, I don't know, it's got such a fine tip. And then I don't know, it seems a lot more versatile than I thought it was.
Yay! I'm so glad you think that. I'm so glad it helped.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
This is Yasmin. What Sally said, I have two dagger brushes. One's real floofy and one's real stiff. And
Yeah.
I've been kind of painting along and I'm like, whoa, that works. So yeah, it's really cool.
Yay! Yay!
I actually like it better than most things I paint.
Wow. Maybe it's your new thing.
Maybe. So Hema, thank you.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You've
That's-
awakened us.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It's this isn't it wild though? It's like I had to let go with this weird brush for me to feel like, okay, I can go abstract. I never did abstract watercolors until I got these brushes. I just never did. Watercolor was like, oh, you gotta paint something, and then the more I did this, I was like, I got to go completely raw, like sort of go crazy, because otherwise I wasn't able to control it. So it was sort of almost like a necessity, like I had to, otherwise I was not going to be able to, use it.
Yes.
So,
Yes, exactly. Anybody want to hold up and share, whether you want some critique or you have a question? Just raise your hand and I can share. We always have share time at the end, so
Hey.
Susan, okay. So I'm going to add you to the spotlight next to Hema so everybody can continue to watch her, but also see yours.
Oh, so
Susan.
beautiful.
Wow, that's nice.
That is lovely.
Wow.
Lovely.
Wow.
Oh.
With a very simple color palette, you've really done a lot. That's
It's
beautiful.
lovely.
Are
Yeah.
you, let's see, are you pinning?
Can you see them side by
I
side?
can see everybody.
Yeah, I can see it like that, Anne.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got to probably remove all my pins and things that I have.
Okay,
Wow,
yeah,
Susan,
I'm
that is
spotlighting, so
really
you should be
nice.
able to. I did a double spotlight side by side.
Okay.
Oh, Yasmin, you have your hand up. Do you also want to share?
Sure, I was just having fun kind of playing around with it.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Good work.
Good.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
by
man,
far
that's
nothing
one of your
even
best
close.
paintings.
Getting the feel of
Yay.
the brush, I really liked working with it. So thank you, Hema.
Oh,
You
you're
did a
welcome.
beautiful job, Yasmin.
Nice
Beautiful.
job.
I'll send it to you as a get well card.
I love it.
That's beautiful. I
Oh,
think
I
that's
love
your
that.
thing. You could paint all your figs in the garden and your wisteria and your rosemary,
Oh,
all using the dagger brush.
well, I think pushing myself and saying, okay, just play with the dagger brush. And because I like to work more abstract, I think that would be really, really fun to do.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, I'm looking to see if anybody else has their hand up.
Browns. Okay, some browns.
Ginny, did you get some ideas? I know that you like to use your dagger brush. Did you get any ideas from this?
I've been watching closely with my mouth open, not painting, paying attention, making notes.
Well, thank you. Can I see your work? Are you working right now? I would love to see everybody's actually, because it's just refreshing, and I'm so grateful to Anne for the opportunity to see everybody together, because I don't get to see a group often. So it's so nice. And I was really scared. So thank you for
Oh,
letting me.
no, you did
No.
such a lovely job.
I don't mind sharing mine.
Oh,
let's
thank
see.
you.
It's not nearly
Very
as good.
inspiring, Hema.
I wish I used
Can you
more.
spot,
Oh,
you
look at
at
that.
yours, Anne?
Oh my, oh
wow.
my
Oh,
goodness.
fun.
Yeah.
Fun,
Oh,
Anne.
that's
Oh, my goodness.
great.
It was
I love
really
the red.
fun to play with using the brush in different ways, and
Wow.
yeah, it's not as Not
That
as
was
Colors
great.
so nice.
Very nice.
Were you using the quirky brush or?
I was using this long one, not
Oh,
the
okay.
squirrel one, but the Sable Blend, the 3/8, and so trying to use it more at the bottom of it than to use it up close. But when I did these little berries here, I got closer. And when I did the circles, I had to be more like at the neck, I would say, just to have a little more control.
So what
Really fun.
sizes would you recommend? Because I have a 1/4 inch size dagger. What size do you normally use? I'm sure you use many sizes, but if you were to get 2 of them, what sizes would you recommend?
Okay, so I love these two. This is the 3/8 and the 3/4.
Okay, thank
But
you.
they're sure, but they're two different brands, and I sometimes worry that the brands don't follow. So I would say the 3/8 inch is by Princeton. It's a Neptune, and it's called Dagger. But the other one, the 3/4 that I have, is a Black Knight sword liner, and it's not called a dagger. Which makes it a bit confusing for me, but yeah, that's
Yeah, my
That's great.
Princeton 1/4 inch is the real floofy one. The one I call it floofy. It's very, very flexible, but the point, it does have a point to it, that works.
right.
So
Yeah.
I didn't really, I kind of gave up on it a little bit because I thought it was too fluffy, but it's working as I'm doing this.
Did you say it was a Black Knight sword?
I'll send you a picture. It's called Black Knight sword liner.
Liner. Thank you.
Sure.
Well, it's so inspiring to watch you work and to hear your process.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Hema.
You're very welcome. Thank you. I'm so glad to be able to share all this. So the last thing I'd like to say is that towards the end of a painting, I will squint my eyes. I will find just a few areas where I feel like, nope, I need some, couple of dark marks. And I might put just like a few fine lines of detail, like literally holding the brush up here or even higher, and just allow.
So looseness. So just not trying to do anything specific,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a perfect word for it. Allow. You're not trying to control, you're discovering it, and that's exciting.
Yes, thank you. Yes, that's a good catch, because the word allow, I sometimes call it like dancing across the page. Like the brush just dances. I definitely feel like as I spoke, my painting, is a little trickier for me to focus. So can I screen share one last time and show you the cocoa palms? Yeah.
Yeah, let me remove all the spotlights.
Okay. Okay, and the last one I want to show you guys is this palm tree. So this was done during a class while the student was painting and I didn't have to talk. So I feel like this captures the looseness that I love so much, that comes from the dagger brush. This is just regular Canson paper, a few washes in the sky. I love it because I liked that I was able to achieve multicolored trunks, and I was able to even bring in some horizon just a little bit, and a little pale lavender even, if you see it in the middle of the painting, which is kind of this wet beach area. So yeah, that's all. I just wanted to.
It's very beautiful. It's so free.
Thanks.
And there's so much movement in it. It's so good.
And on the right side, bottom right quadrant, I actually messed up and I had like this big wash that kind of went weird. I just drew a tree with, I think with one of my dark, Payne's gray or something. I just drew another tree in there. It was not even there. It's just you work with this stuff. And
you work with what you got. Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you say you pretty much don't draw, you just paint?
Oh, good point. So I do draw with my brush, but I allow so I've come to a space now where the line and the paint are not separate. Some parts of a painting just need to be line, and some parts, like in this one, it feels a little obvious because the leaves are like lines, but there's other, like, you might see a scenery with waves and the water is just lines, so you could leave it and then you can add patches of color in between. So I never used to paint like that. I used to paint, draw lines, figure everything out, and then put patches of color, because that's how I, kind of would do my realistic work. But now I've changed my perspective on that. I feel like the line and the painting is all sort of um, um, just tools to be used. When you need line to define something, you use it. If you don't need it, you can completely do away with it. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Welcome.
Have you ever done the watercolor 30 by 30? Because they're starting it up again in a very casual way.
Ooh, well, I would love to be a part of that. Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's there's no underdrawing, so it's direct
That's what I said.
watercolor, right? And we've some of us have been exposed to that and have really liked the challenge, but also the freedom of no underdrawing and really
Yeah.
not really, there's no glazing. You're allowed to put a couple dark marks later after it dries if you feel like your painting needs it, but overall, it's a one and done kind of painting.
Yes.
And,
I love it.
yeah, there's a Facebook group, 30 by 30 watercolors, and it's just, you basically are doing one a day for the month of June.
Right.
And you just post, or you can just go and look at what other people have done. But I found that last year when I did this, it really was, it really made a difference in my painting practice. It really, really helped me have confidence and just be more, be quicker, and I guess just be looser in a sense too, because you can't draw. So you have to try to capture what you see and just be confident that the gestures are enough,
Yeah. This is called the direct watercolor challenge. Is that the one? That's
30 by 30 direct watercolor.
direct water. Yeah.
And it's starting up in June.
Awesome.
It's,
Yeah. No, I
Mark Taro Holmes who runs it.
Oh, right, Mark. Oh my gosh. Have you
Picture.
seen his
Yeah.
book? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know.
Those landscapes. Oh,
Yeah.
they're just so yeah, I love those landscapes of his.
So Hema, will you be posting this picture on your Instagram? Because I want to see it.
Yeah, sure. I will
good,
send
good.
you guys.
Okay.
Maybe if I could even post it back on email so you guys can actually.
Oh, that'd be
Kind of-
great. I'd love to. Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you want to send it to me, I can send it out to the group.
Thank
Sure.
you, Hema.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for
so
asking. Yeah.
much. Yeah, Hema does private lessons on Zoom, and she also does monotype prints and sculptures and all sorts of stuff. So you definitely should check her out, and hopefully she'll come back again with our group.
Oh, I'd love to. This is so fun. And yeah, do you all post your work somewhere? Is there like a common point where we see everybody's work? It's so fun. I like seeing work. So
No, but it's funny
I
that
have my
you say
own.
that, because I was thinking about some way that we could, everybody, whether it's at the end of the year or maybe a couple times
Right.
a year, everybody submit the favorite thing that they've done and then
Right.
share it.
Something-
Yeah, I'll talk
Yeah.
to you more about that, how we could do that.
that'd be amazing. Yeah. And also pieces. Like sometimes I like just a piece in my painting. Like I may not like the whole of it, but if I like a piece of it, I actually cut my paintings up. I'll just make postcards, little things out of it. So then it actually sometimes it's really hilarious, but there was a particular painting of mine. I cut it into 4 because I hated it. And then all 4 pieces looked awesome. I sent them off as cards, just funny. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that, like taking the part you like and taking a mat and just matting that portion of the painting, even if
Right.
it ends up looking abstract,
Yep.
just taking the part of it you like and sometimes it's more interesting if you don't get it right with the viewfinder or you didn't start that way. That doesn't matter. That's not the end of everything, right?
No, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, if you guys want to screenshot what Hema has done, I can spotlight her painting right here.
Okay.
Does that help? Is there a shadow or it's okay? Yeah.
I think it looks good.
Okay.
And we recorded this, so I'll make it available. There were a couple people who just couldn't make it. And I'll make it available on my YouTube, but you'll need the link to get there. So I'll send the link out with
Thank you.
yeah, and Hema, if you want to write out supplies or anything tips, you know, I can
Sure.
put that out there. You don't have
Sure.
to if you wanted to.
Oh, absolutely. I can. Yeah.
So yeah, they won't be available to the public, but you guys will all have, everybody in the Friday watercolor list will have the link. So you can feel free to watch this again and pause
Wonderful.
it and
Yep. Yep.
all of that
That's okay.
good stuff.
And the picture of the tree, I don't see it on chat. Did you put it in chat?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, let me
Yeah,
do
it was there.
Yeah, but I couldn't find it because I've got the wrong kind of device.
Oh yeah, let me
iPad doesn't
screen share.
show it.
Yeah, let me I'm on screen share, but let me, I know not everybody can do it that way, so let's see if this will work. Come on, open. Doesn't want to. There we go.
Okay.
I'll just take a picture. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me make it bigger. Get rid
I guess I could share a picture of the brushes, the names, the color colors, and this image, and just maybe if you could
Yeah,
put on, like, I don't know, email the group or something so everybody has it.
yeah, I'd be happy to.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Did everybody
idea.
capture that palm tree?
Yeah, yeah.
I
Okay,
Is that
great.
fruit? Is that real fruit on the palm tree, or it's just seed?
Oh yeah. Those are coconuts. They're
Oh,
just
those are-
overripe coconuts. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you for joining, everyone, and Hema, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anne, for
Thank you
hosting.
so
Thank you.
much.
Lovely meeting you.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
It was really great. Come back and visit us too, Hema.
Yeah.
I'm inviting Fran. Come anytime.
I would
It's an
love to.
open invitation with me.
And thank you, Anne, for.
Thanks,
giving us
Anne.
Yeah, this was a lot of
Wonderful.
fun.
Thank you.
Very
Everyone,
encouraging.
Good
Have a great
weekend,
weekend,
everybody.
everybody.
you guys too. Have a wonderful weekend.
Bye.
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 Thanks again.
Good to see you all.